In the South, there's always a reason to drink beer. Now the rebellion's giving you one more. Pickled Peppers Hop Shop. Homebrew kits delivered straight to your door.
The ceremony's about to begin.
Become a member of the 1 Million Brew Club today at pickledpeppershopshop.com. And don't forget to listen to Tyson and Tanner on their hit podcast, Pickled Peppers Hop Talk. TNT on PPHT on all podcast outlets.
Johnny! I need a pickle!
Pickled peppers.
Pickled peppers. Pickled peppers.
You're listening to the Dank Swamp Rebellion with director Brandon Stouff.
You know how Elon Musk made his first million selling flamethrowers that weren't flamethrowers?
Right.
So there's a place in Houma, dude, called Tactical Supply. Shout out, not sponsored. They sell $1,129.99 plus tax. An actual flamethrower, and it says flamethrower on it. It's awesome.
Oh, it's a real life flamethrower.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. It's really weird because then you have to carry around a propane tank with you, but it's still pretty freaking awesome.
What is the practical use of a flamethrower? Just wondering.
Nazi zombies from space.
Lighting a cigarette.
Lighting a really big joint. Or cigarette.
With the thickest, fattest dick around.
You could probably boil a pot of crawfish in like 3 seconds with that fucker.
If you don't like cutting the grass,
They should just flamethrow the shit out of it.
They should have flamethrowers at Neil's Small Engine for all your flamethrowing grass needs. Shout out to Neil's Small Engine.
Also not sponsored. Shout out to Hick for being the face of Neil's Small.
See, this whole DSR universe is connected. It's beautiful, and you've directed Hick. It's
I love Hick so much. He's so awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Is he hard to direct?
Absolutely not.
Man, I wish you'd have said yes.
I'm trying to figure out what's wrong.
He's such a nice guy.
Oh, he is.
God, what a nice guy. And he's one of those guys that after you sit with him for a while, it's just good vibes, man.
Yeah.
Like he just brought an energy to the studio that was just great, and it's
man, I'm kind of like
I like that cat.
I'm kind of feeling one right now. Kinda.
Yeah.
Hick's beard is a little bit bigger than mine.
It's a little longer.
It is a little bigger.
It's all right. Yours is chunkier though. You got a wider beard. His is a little more Gandalf-ish.
Oh, dude,
you know.
Yeah, your beard has a certain quality to it that something is inside here that you want to find out.
Yeah, it has its own soul.
Yeah.
You know, I know that feeling. With my my luscious locks.
That's literally it, dude. Bro, so like, okay, being a beardsman, when is there ever a point that you think people will see your face again?
At this point, probably not, because I'm getting known for my beard.
Yeah,
kind of like Hick. You know, you have the beard for so long. I wore a beard now for maybe not this long, for at least 7 to 10 years. I've had a beard, so
it's part of you.
Yeah,
right.
I bet Hick doesn't even have a chin under that fucking thing, man. It's just like lip, neck.
It's completely flat.
I seen a picture Hick posted the other day, like maybe the day of a flashback or whatever, of a picture of him when he was younger with no beard. It's like, who is this guy?
I literally saw that picture too, and I thought the exact same thing. I was like, wow, where's Hick though? That's crazy.
It says Hick, but that's not Hick.
At night he cries and says, I am not my beard.
Dude, trust me when I understand, because there's points where I want to chop all this fucking hair off. I promise. I haven't been having it as long as you, as 10 years.
That's a lie, because whenever he walks through different places in public, he flips it like a chick would. He's like, oh, I'm in Chick-fil-A, fuck all of you. And yes, I did use Pert Plus.
Oh, that's the idea for the video. Him in a pool, slow frame, rubbing the hair back, all wet and stuff like that.
Wild Things?
Yes.
Yeah.
While you're wearing the one-piece tankini.
Oh yeah.
I liked that I'm being objectified right now. Is that weird? No, it's that I'm that vain. I understand. You said it earlier. But anyway, let's get to this next part here.
So, dude, being from the area, living in Houma, are you you fish, you hunt, you do any of that shit?
No.
Seriously? Really?
I'm not an outdoorsman. I've never been hunting a day in my life.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
I'm not a hunter either. I'm not big. I have hunted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not big on it. It doesn't do anything for me. But fishing turns me off.
I've been fishing.
But you'll eat fish.
Not really.
Really?
Now seafood like shellfish, like crawfish and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll tear that up. But I'm not a big fish guy.
Damn, man, that's odd.
I know
to
it's
me.
weird. I know.
Not really. I mean, it's its own thing. I knew people like that my whole life. That just this chick from Golden Meadow that was dating a buddy of mine couldn't eat any shrimp unless they were processed shrimp from like Taiwan because it was something in the water. I'm like,
Right.
You grew up in that water, and she was allergic to them. I didn't make a break.
That's how my wife is. She can't eat shellfish anymore. Like she's allergic to iodine and stuff like that. So
Speaking of your wife, it seems like she's an integral part of what you're doing. Like you seem like you feed. You've mentioned her a couple of times, and it just seems like you feed off of an energy from her. And what's the dynamic, with her and what you're doing as far as directing?
she is an integral part. She wears a lot of hats on this project. No, she's one of the producers. She does all the catering, which is mostly home cooked meals.
That's awesome.
She does all the crafty with the craft services, all the snack food. She grabs all that stuff, puts all that stuff out. She does my makeup, my wardrobe, my props. She does all this. She does all this stuff for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Now,
Isn't it amazing to find someone that supports what your
That
dream
sees the
is
vision.
like that?
oh, she's very, very supportive. Like it took me 4 years to write the script, so she watched me every night, almost every night, behind a computer, thinking, writing. She would be through all the depressive points in it because for a long time I couldn't find the story. Like I had characters, knew where I wanted to go with it, but all the stuff in between, it's not clicking for me yet. So I put it down for a little bit, and then one day it hit me. This story is my life. But back to my wife, like she would whip me through all that, the goods and the bads, and even through all this stuff. And now I'm not gonna lie, and I talked to her about this last night. It's like it is difficult sometimes when you try and do this project and you have somebody that close to you with it. Because as the executive producer / writer / director of this thing, it's my vision and I want certain things. And if she makes a mistake or she gets something I don't really want, it's easier to not say correct, but talk about those things with somebody you're not related to, not involved with outside of it, versus with her, because it's not personal. It's like I gotta think about the big picture of the project.
It's hard because she's so close to the situation.
Right.
We understand that, bro. We're right there with you. My wife owns the company, owns the podcast. His girl does everything for us as far as scheduling. They have a lot of hats, and I love that you have that, but I also understand, and that we have that, but I also understand the struggle there, because sometimes it's easier for me to lash out at her than it is for me to lash out at him or even myself, because she's so close to the situation.
Yeah.
And I don't always know how to say things the way I need to say them, and she doesn't always know the way she needs to say them, because we're not perfect in this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's one thing she believes in, is what's going on right here. And for her to believe in your process, man, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful fucking sentiment,
That's awesome. And I really do feel...
Shout out to your wife, man.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
This is her baby as much as yours.
Yeah, it is.
And
That's great.
That's one of the things that I feel like if you're missing that in your life, that is absolutely something that should be on your priority list.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have someone who supports you unconditionally like this because they believe in you and your ideas, it's so hard to get them off the ground. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, of course, but that moral support and that physical support for you being there, it just makes so much difference. The dynamic between bringing work to home and home to work, it becomes one.
Right.
And if you're able to get past that, so I feel like the strongest couples are people who run a business together. They have to be.
Yeah.
Because they could separate the two.
She understands that night after night after night, I have to be in here editing. Because that's what the business dictates right now.
Right.
Because we're not at a point to where we can hire other people. We have to do this for ourselves. And the fact that she puts up with that, like I said, over 60 episodes in, we've been doing this for
almost a year and a half.
A year and a half now.
Fucked.
And she's put up with this. And when I told her tonight, I said, I got a guest. And she's like, who is it? Do you know this person? I said, no, I don't know who they are. And she said, oh, this is going to be fucking good. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, you don't know who your guest is? I said, no, I know who he is. I just don't know the guest. She was like, oh, thank God, because I really thought this was going to fucking suck.
I mean, been there, done that, and still got through pretty good.
Like some random ass dude just walks in like, hey, man, what's up? I saw you at the Rouse's the other day. Like, no, man. We have a real guest, babe. Don't worry. It's not just some fucking yan from down the volume.
That's debatable, but and I appreciate what y'all said. I showed y'all a clip earlier. Y'all seem to have liked it, and I really appreciate it. I mean, it doesn't mean a lot to me. It's like me and Tyler was saying earlier, like as artists, we kind of like we see the flaws in our work. I mean, I think it's natural, but to hear
if it's shit, I'll tell you.
Well, I hope so.
I mean, straight
right?
up.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had people contact the show, and I'm not gonna go there.
Right.
I'm not gonna be that big of a dick, but we've had them contacted. Hey, we really want to come on. You know, it's just not a good fit, and the reason being is because the vision's not there, and it's just not a good fit.
Right.
So, you know, there's a reason why everything happens, why everybody sits where they are.
I've seen a lot of parallels between me and Brandon as far as our approach to art in general. And I could appreciate that because it's kind of rare to find someone who looks at it from that perspective. And after trying to get feedback from your work, that's literally what you want is feedback, not just it looks good.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But there's an extent of a barrier of knowledge that's always going to be the case. And same thing with music. Like if I show someone a tune that we wrote and they're like, yeah, man, this sounds awesome. It's like, I know it does. I know it's cool, but like I need input, like actual feedback.
We had some guests on a while back, some friends of ours. They have a cooking show that they put on YouTube, and they play video games that they cook dishes that coincide with the game. They call 16-bit picnic.
Interesting.
And it's a cool little concept.
Yeah.
But one of the guys on that show is an audio engineer, and when he listened to our show, he told Tyler, he said, hey, ask Cody why your mic's a little hot on the low end.
I need that.
And that upped my game. I was like, right there, my automation's off.
Right. Exactly.
I need to get and our the everyday listener wouldn't have known that, right?
Right.
But because the guy knew, and I respected it, and I could have been, man, fuck this guy, he doesn't know. Immediately, I was like, oh my God, he heard it, and so I wasn't listening for that, and I gotta find it and I gotta fix it.
And there's a way of doing it where you don't sound like a dick too,
Right.
Because I did it for you actually. I said those shots were long, so that gave me suspense. If that's what you were trying to convey, that much that someone could tell you that means you could go back and register if that's what you were actually trying to do.
Right.
And it's validation. And that's the things that we're craving. So when you are on a very detail-oriented base, there's only a select few who could actually give you the response or feedback you really need. And a lot of people actually pay for that.
Right.
And It sucks.
The only validation we need is that we have like 1,000 followers in India.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We do.
Sweet.
Shout out to India. Yeah, they
Thank you, Kerala.
we're teaching them English. There's some little Cajun India peeps running around that we're influencing, and I love to think about that scenario, and I would love to incorporate that into a
I
music
love to
video.
think about some little Indian kids that listened to the rebellion, and all of a sudden they found some type of little crustacean in the little ditch, and they brought it home, and they tell their mom and dad that they need to get on Amazon and order some Zatarain so they can boil these things.
And believe it or not, it's probably gonna be really good.
And also to the 2 cats in Canada now. We only had 1 listener in Canada. Now we have 2. So congratulations to you that y'all listen to us. It's
Who said who was stroking who's on deck earlier?
I'm just saying. If I lived in Canada, I'd want to listen to us too. So
I'm sorry, whom's
Yeah.
dick?
Thank you for listening to the Dank Swamp Rebellion. Tune in Wednesday for part 3 with director of Dear Kate, Brandon